Well, talk about a quiet Sunday morning. Yeah, right. Anything but that today. We got the player option for LeBron James, Dorian Finney-Smith, and the team option for Jordan Goodwin, all of which we now know and a whole lot came with it, especially with LeBron. Yes, we all knew it was coming. He very likely was going to opt into that player option, returning to their team with a max contract level, a salary of roughly $53 million for next season, but we did not know the quotes that would come with it, the talk that came with it, and what both LeBron and his agent and friend Rich Paul are kind of hinting at with his Lakers future, which according to the quotes and the hints here, could very well be without him. So between that, although Dorian Finney-Smith opting out and a whole bunch of teams apparently interested in him, there's definitely a lot of drama to talk about here and a whole lot to cover. So we'll try our best to cover it all, what it means for the Lakers' future, their ability to retain Dorian Finney-Smith, retain LeBron and if he wants to be retained on their team, and what that future looks like between them going forward. And without further ado here, beginning with LeBron, obviously the main topic, we got a whole bunch of quotes like I said. Following him opting in, Rich Paul came out with a big quote about the future with them together, their time together so far, which they are apparently appreciative of, and believe it or not, it's been 8 years now. That's quite unbelievable in my opinion and really has gone by fast, but it might quickly be coming to a close. No, maybe not this season, but I think this will definitely be the final season between LeBron and the Lakers. Rich Paul kind of hints that here, saying that he knows the Lakers are building for the future. He understands that, but he values a realistic chance of winning it all, meaning LeBron here. And again, like I said, they are appreciative of the partnership that they've had for 8 years now, between themselves and Jeanie Buss and Rob Pelinka, but he is unsure about the Lakers roster and how LeBron factors into that going forward. And here's Shams Charania talking about that full quote from Rich Paul and what it means for the Lakers going forward.
First, we've got breaking news here on SportsCenter involving somebody on the NBA Mount Rushmore. We welcome in senior NBA insider Shams Charania. And Shams, 5 p.m. today, the deadline for players or teams to exercise options. One of those players with the decision to make is LeBron James. What more can you tell us?
Phil, LeBron James is opting in to his nearly $53 million player option for the 2025-2026 season. So what we do know is he will be playing a record 23rd NBA season. Still not sure whether he's going to play one more season or he has multiple years left, but I'm told he wants to compete for a championship next season, and he is uncertain about the Lakers roster moving forward. And my understanding is James is supportive of the Lakers positioning themselves around Luka Doncic, building for the future. And Rich Paul told me this morning, the Clutch Sports CEO, that the Lakers have been true partners of his and LeBron James for 8 seasons while he's been there. But as we see right there, he also told me the franchise is going to do what's best for them. They understand that they have to do what's best for the long term. And this adds an interesting wrinkle here in free agency. LeBron James is evaluating how he wants to finish his career.
Well, there's definitely a lot to unpack there. Everything again from Rich Paul's quotes and what that kind of hints at with the Lakers' future with LeBron. Will he be a part of it? Will he be a part of it for more than only this season? Will he even make it through the entire season with their team? And is he kind of silently hinting at a trade request if they don't make the moves that he wants that benefit both him and Luka Doncic? That's up for debate here. In my opinion though, I think he will play out the season with them, barring them making moves that absolutely don't agree with him and Rich Paul, or that he does not view as beneficial toward himself in any way at all, or Luka Doncic for that fact. Then I could maybe see it happening. But with LeBron obviously living in LA, not wanting to move from LA, Bronny being on the team of course, and Bryce being in college next season, I really doubt that he wants to be traded mid-season or would request a trade. I don't see that happening, despite some fans kind of commenting about that and saying that's the likely route for him to take here. I don't find that very likely. Now if we're talking about next summer and next offseason, then it definitely could be a possibility. Not with him being traded, but simply leaving their team in free agency. Again, he opted into his player option and that's a 1-year contract, not another 1+1 kind of deal. Simply a 1-year contract, so their timeline with LeBron could officially run out after this season. Whether he wants to run it back or not, whether they want to run it back or not, there is no guarantee that'll happen and either one of them could make that decision. And you know, just to be clear here for those that don't know, LeBron does have a no trade clause. So even if the Lakers would want to trade him and go behind his back to try and make that happen, they can't. LeBron has to agree on any trade they make or would try to make involving him, and he pretty much has full control over whether he wants to be on the team or not for the entirety of the next year. So again, I wouldn't completely rule it out, but I for one don't see it happening. I mean, I would say that maybe a different team would be a better fit for him at this point. They're not building around LeBron, they're building around Luka Doncic. You know, I think that's not entirely that different in regard to fits, but definitely in regard to timeline it is different. So if LeBron doesn't like that, if Rich Paul doesn't like that, if they don't agree on the Lakers team building, then I guess it can maybe happen. Maybe he'd want to be traded back to a team like the Cleveland Cavaliers, for example. Do the Cavs or any other team for that fact want to give up assets for a 41-year-old LeBron at this point? I'm not sure about that, but I guess it could happen. Again, I don't see it happening, but it definitely could be on the table if you want to talk about that and if you want to debate that. However, I think he will be with their team, and now with that contract on their payroll, it will affect their team in a few different areas. Barring Dorian Finney-Smith walking from their team, that does mean they'll be over the first apron, meaning they will not be able to make a sign and trade, or rather receive a player via sign and trade, won't be able to use the full mid-level exception, ruling out guys like Nickeil Alexander-Walker. Anybody making a salary above roughly $10 million next season, that will be off the table for them. They'll be looking more at the taxpayer mid-level for guys like Clint Capella, Brook Lopez, guys like that, not for younger players that are looking for a longer-term, higher-paid salary going forward. So between that, I guess you could point to LeBron's contract and kind of rule them out from free agency in that regard. Also do have to apply Dorian Finney-Smith here. If he would walk from their team, then I guess it would open up the option of it, or even if he would take a massive discount, which I don't find very likely. At this point, he's looking for more money, not less money, so I don't see that happening. But between LeBron's contract, between Dorian Finney-Smith's impending contract, which we will talk about in a moment here, it does put the Lakers over the first apron, and therefore the CBA kicks in for their team once again. Like I said, not being able to receive a player through a sign and trade, not being allowed to use the full mid-level, not being allowed to sign buyout market players that previously made above the mid-level exception, and a few other trade rules too. So keep that in mind here. Following the max contract by LeBron, did not end up taking a pay cut, which I think we all knew would happen. And then between the impending contract of Dorian Finney-Smith, that's pretty much locked in for them at this point. But then moving on to Dorian Finney-Smith here, like I said, he did opt out, not opt into that $15.4 million player option. Very likely hinting at him wanting more long-term money, obviously still caring about the short-term money here too, but more so looking at it from a long-term perspective. And I think we kind of know the contract amount, or rather salary amount, that he's looking for. After all, the Lakers did have the ability to offer him a 3-year, $58 million contract extension. No word yet on if they officially did offer him that and if he declined it or simply wanted more money than that. But they did have the ability to do it, and obviously he wasn't that interested or wanted more money than they could offer with that. So we're either talking about him wanting more than $18 million per season, or wanting a longer term contract than a 3-year contract, or simply more guaranteed money than $58 million. Which, if you're talking about a 4-year contract, isn't that bad in my opinion. Now I'm not sure I'd want to give a 32-year-old a guaranteed 4-year contract, but I do like Dorian Finney-Smith, not only from the production, but then about the team chemistry on their team. Obviously a great friend and great former teammate and now reunited teammate of Luka Doncic. Cannot forget to apply that here. That's a very important thing for their team and definitely a very important part of retaining and building their relationship with Luka Doncic, which does happen to be priority number 1 for them right now. I don't think they can afford to lose Dorian Finney-Smith this early into that relationship. Not prioritizing a really good friend to Luka Doncic, one of his favorite teammates of all time, and as he still is getting accustomed to their team and being a Laker, not a Maverick, I think it's very important to retain Dorian Finney-Smith. And well, kind of unfortunately, he knows that and his agent are well aware of that too. He knows that Luka Doncic wants him on the team, he knows that the Lakers front court currently needs him on the team, the versatility he offers, him being one of, if not the only true 3-and-D option and bigger forward on their team, they do desperately need him at this point. And it really comes down to the contract value he wants and the kind of happy medium they can agree on here. Yes, they can afford to offer him a pay increase, more so from a long-term perspective, not really from a short-term perspective, I mean, if they would give Dorian Finney-Smith roughly $20 million per season, then it might be difficult to stay below that second apron, especially with the tax pyramid level exception involved too. So really can't afford to push it that much this season. Yes, they can afford to offer him a 3-year contract, that's not really a big deal in my opinion. With LeBron's salary coming off the books next season, very likely anyways, they do have quite a bit of open cap room going forward and can fit Dorian Finney-Smith in there. So that's not a problem. It's simply about the short-term contract amount, keeping that under $20 million this season, then it not being too dramatic going forward. Again, yes, I'm fine with a 3-year contract, but I don't want it to go up to about $25 million per season for a then 35-year-old Dorian Finney-Smith. At that point, it probably wouldn't be worth it, but you kind of have to gauge the happy medium again between the relationship with him, how valuable he is to their team, and obviously then with Luka Doncic. Gotta find a happy medium here with them. He knows it, they know it, I hope and I really do think they will be able to find that happy medium, but right now they're currently not at it, so they do gotta work toward it. And well, with all of that being said, what do you guys think? How do you feel about the LeBron situation, the quotes by Rich Paul, and what that may or may not be hinting at with the Lakers and LeBron's future? And then about Dorian Finney-Smith opting out of his player option, and how the Lakers and himself find a happy medium for his next contract. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. But I think that'll pretty much do it for this one. And if you enjoyed the video, then I'll greatly appreciate it if you drop a like, subscribe to the channel if you have not already, and hit that notification bell to never miss out when I upload a video. But as always, thank you for watching and have a great day or night.